Tell us your name, tell us a stock that you'd like to know about. If you've bought the stock, tell us what level you bought and how long you'd like to hold it for, if it's less than 1 year or more than 1 year, or basically if it's a short-term query or a long-term one. The first query is coming in from Shashwat. He's writing in from New Delhi and he's asking, first let me introduce our guests. We've got Kunal Bothra as well as AK Prabhakar. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining in. The first question is to you, Kunal, and the question is about the LIC IPO, because that really is the story of the week, I think. The question from Shashwat is, how will the other life insurance companies react to the listing of LIC, which is still a way off?
Good morning, Alex. I believe that most of these stocks have already gone through a pre-IPO reaction. These stocks, they were, down and out since the last 6 months. It's just that in the last, I think, 1.5 odd month, you've seen some recovery coming back into these, life insurance stocks, whether it's HDFC Life, LIC, SBI Life, etc. These stocks have seen some recovery. But when I look at the long-term charts, there are no major patterns which are developing on these stocks, which probably indicates that there could be more strong uptrend for these stocks on the longer term basis. So from a short term play, I think one of the stocks which I would probably prefer would be HDFC Life. But other than that, I think it's a sector largely which one can probably avoid.
Okay, sector largely which one can avoid. Only one stock which Kunal is talking about in that space. But Mr. Prabhakar, I'm going to come to you. We have Shanti, who's asking about Avanti feeds. They want to know, the stock has actually been underperforming for some time. So is it a good time to invest at 400, 425 levels price band for a period of 1 year?
Yeah, I think so. No, the stock has already corrected, and they are into a different business segment where Venki's and this company Avanti feeds. These both are in similar non-vegetarian segment. But we need to understand, today, the shipping rates have gone up. So that is one thing which is slightly negative for the company. So otherwise, I think, at current level for a long-term investor, it is a good one.
The next question, Mr. Prabhakar, is also for you, and this is Tata Steel. In the result announcement yesterday, it was also announced that the board has approved a stock split of the ratio of 1:10, and the question really is from Sushila in Karnataka, Bellary, and she's saying that she's got 38 shares. So obviously she's asking first how many shares she'll end up with. Multiply by 10, you'll get 380 shares once the stock split takes place. But the question really also is on the fundamentals. Do you continue holding, Mr. Prabhakar?
See, the result is fantastic result at 44,000 crores net profit. I think it is very good. They have repaid debt of 15,000 crores. And, it is the most profitable company in Nifty, and 51 rupees is a dividend. The dividend yield at current market price works to 3.9%. So I think, it is one of the best results I can see in this season. Tata Chemical is also one good results which came, but Tata Steel, due to market conditions, the stock might correct. But if you're a long-term person, I think you need to hold on to Tata Steel, and the rewards will come over a period of time, and it is one of the best results I can think of.
Right. Kunal, I'm going to come to you. We have a query coming in from Luke on MGL. Now, can they expect levels of 800 and 810 in Mahanagar Gas in the short term, like a couple of weeks' time is what they're talking about?
I think 800 plus could be a possibility. I think the stock corrected from those 840 levels. It's now at 775. I'm expecting that even if there's a 50% recovery from this 70 point, 80 point fall for MGL, the stock would come back towards 810, 812, kind of levels for itself. But then largely, I think these gas stocks have not shown any major strong price uptick over the longer term period. The last 9 months have been quite vicious for these stocks, where the correction has been almost 50% to 60% into this space. So from a longer term basis, I would avoid looking at these names and recommending a buy into these stocks. From a short term play, I think 810 could be a possibility which you can expect over the next couple of weeks.
Okay, the next question is coming in from Alex from Tamil Nadu. It's nice to speak to my namesake for once on this program. But the question is for you, Mr. Prabhakar, and he's looking at LTI. He's holding, but he's not told me what level. Sorry, he's telling me that he's holding from levels of 5,000 and he's lost a little ground. He's asking in the context of the upcoming merger with Mindtree, what the implications are, should he hold on?
Yeah, I think Mindtree is a very complementary business for LTI, and IT as a sector has been correcting of late. I think that should not worry for a long term. Should be a worry for a long term investor. LTI and LTTS are our top picks, and I think once this correction is over, the rally will be very fast in LTI post merger. Also, it is a very good pick. See, when you buy something for a long term, short-term correction are always there, and I think if this correction starts to take place, it could be even lethal. But for a long-term investor, this should not be a worry. It should be an opportunity to buy more.
Kunal, we have a query for Divi's Lab Future. Now, Swayam has bought this at 4,635 rupees. What should they be doing with it? What is your view on Divi's Lab Futures?
See, I know that the stock is corrected towards 4,400, so it's down some 200 rupees from your entry price. But I still believe that possibly the stock can see some mild bounce back. The only solace when I look at the charts is a couple of indicators like MACD, etc., which are showing signs of still, I would say, mild bullishness on the stock price. It's not given a major breakdown signal on the charts as such. So the prices are consolidating into this 200 to 50 point band. Indicators are slightly bullish, so I would expect the stock to bounce back marginally from current levels, would suggest a hold.
Okay, interesting question coming in from Ramashri. She's looking at a stock to buy for the next 7 months, and she's looking for returns better than a fixed deposit. I would like to point out that these aren't directly comparable, but I will still take this question to Kunal. Kunal, I'll stretch that to 1 year, because then you have a like-to-like comparison. So what you're trying to beat, of course, is 5.5 or 5.8%. What stock would you recommend?
See, I think interesting question. In such kind of a scenario, we typically would recommend stocks which are at the cusp of a reversal, or either the stocks which have entered into good risk-reward play for themselves. So the first sector which comes to mind is, of course, the IT stocks. Now, even though these IT stocks have been beaten down over the last 3 to 6 months, but even if there's a mild bounce back into these stocks, that bounce back could be to the tune of 10 to 15% on an average for these IT names. So I believe that could be one pocket, and specifically the large cap names like Infi TCS should be the ones which you should be looking out for. If you're looking at some other space, then I believe ITC, HUL, these are the other two names as well, which looks attractive. There is also a benefit of high dividend yield into stocks like ITC as well. So you can look out for these large cap names as a better alternative option.
Right. Mr. Prabhakar, I'm going to come to you. We have a query coming in from Vishal, who's from Dubai. He's asking about Coal India, which he's holding currently at around 171 is the average price for holding. They're asking if they can invest more in the stock at these levels, or should they be waiting for a correction with a long-term view?
See, long term, I'm not positive on Coal India. If it is a 3-year, 5-year view, their employee cost is one of the highest in mining. So I will not invest. But if you are taking a view for 1-2 years, yes, due to the shortage of Coal India can be a major beneficiary. It is more of a dividend play. Kunal mentioned it in the previous query. So it is more of a dividend play. So if you are okay with 8 to 10% return annualized, then yeah, Coal India you can hold it for 1-2 years, but it is not a secular long-term play where there is growth in all segments. No, it is not like that. So you have to take a call on whether you want to play 10% dividend yield plus some growth, then it is okay. Otherwise, I will not invest my money in this stuff.
Let's talk about Adani Wilmar. In the news in the recent past, earnings came in, the acquisition of a couple of brands, Kohinoor. This question is for you, Mr. Prabhakar. We've got a question coming in from Yogesh. He's holding with gains of 150%. He's wondering whether to hold, to buy more, or to sell at this juncture.
I think here Kunal will be a better person, because I cannot understand now the valuation of Adani Group at all. No, the valuation is too stretched for me to put my money there. No, it is more of a speculative bet. I don't think these kind of valuation is sustainable. So I would avoid investing more money in this.
Right, Mr. Prabhakar. But Kunal, I'm going to come to you for another query we have for RBL and DCB for short term. And KR Balana is making losses on this. Should they be switching to better names for the short term, or could they be holding these stocks?
Well, from a short term, I believe DCB Bank can probably head back higher. I think the stock had shown a fabulous recovery in the previous month of April from I think 66, 68 levels to almost at one point it managed to cross about the 90 mark. So the recovery was quite steep and sharp for DCB Bank. It's just that the stock has now gone into a corrective or a mean reversion phase. So there could be possibility that the stock may come back towards 90 plus levels, say over the next 1 to 3 months. But RBL Bank is something which I would avoid, and you can probably shift that money to some other quality large cap names. Maybe the private sector bank lot looks very attractive at current juncture.
Okay. Shravan from Ahmedabad is asking this, and this is for you, Mr. Prabhakar. He's looking to venture into the breweries and distillery space, and he's looking at stocks like India Glycols, United Breweries, Radico Khaitan. But he's saying if not any of these, what stocks would you suggest for the next 3 to 4 years?
I think UBL is a very good pick. I would go with UBL or USL. They are MNC companies, and that will be my top pick. As a consumption from here on will increase, and the companies have given a very good turnaround, I'll go with UBL and USL.
Okay, UBL and USL is what you are saying. Kunal, coming to you, we have Dheeraj who's asking for RVNL. It is consolidating for the last 6 months is what they are talking about in terms of RVNL. They have 600 shares. What should they be doing with RVNL? Should they continue to hold?
See, I would suggest that switch to some other railway stocks. I think RVNL is something which has remained more sideways in the last 6 to 8 months. But I think in the last 2 3 months there have been fresh breakouts into some other railway stocks. So I think it makes a lot of sense to shift your money towards the performing ones. And I think in that category, Titagarh Wagon, Texmaco, I think these are 2 stocks which have done pretty well for themselves. Even something like RailTel has also seen some good volume price uptick over the last 1 month. So I believe it makes a good sense to shift this money to either of these 3 names.
Okay. Jaydev's got the next question, and he's holding Wipro with an average cost of 520. So he's losing a little ground, just a little bit. But Mr. Prabhakar, on the long-term perspective, should he hold on?
IT companies, the growth is likely to sustain. So I will hold on to Wipro at current levels.
Mr. Prabhakar, I'm going to come to you. We have one more long-term query coming in from Ramesh, who's asking about Tata Communications. He's holding 250 shares at almost 1,240 average price. What is the fundamental view coming in over there with a long-term outlook? Should they continue to hold the stock?
See, Tata Communication is a business which I don't understand much, but whatever I have seen, things are looking good. But if I have to invest on telecom thing, I think Bharti Airtel is a better and safer bet also. Tata Communication, because we don't track that sector, I won't be able to comment on that.
Kunal Thakkar from Mumbai has got a question on Reliance Industries. Kunal, this one's for you. He's looking at what strategy he can employ on the F&O side.
I think if you're looking at Reliance Industries, my sense is that it makes sense to buy the current month futures and probably hedge it with buying the at the money put option. That would make a lot of sense because the markets are also getting to a choppy phase. In case if there is any further correction, the puts can probably give you a better leverage in terms of hedge. But I believe that the direction for Reliance Industries on the stock price trends is on the upside. The stock has gone through a fabulous recovery over the last 2 months, rallying up from 2200 levels to almost at one point hitting that 2800 mark and staying above it as well. So it's been a very good recovery for a large cap name like Reliance Industries, and that generally indicates that the trend should persist on the upside. But it's just that the short-term jerks and the reactions on the market can make trading the stock a bit more choppy.
Mr. Prabhakar, we have Nagul who's asking about Greaves cotton. They've bought it at around 140 rupees per share, average price. Should they continue to hold them for a 1 year time period? With the prices seeing a bit of a correction coming in, what is the view on Greaves cotton?
Yeah, I think it is a good stock. We can hold on to it. We need to understand, almost every stock has corrected in the last 3-4 months. So we should not worry about correction. If the fundamentals are good, now we can hold on to it.
one more question then. IndusInd Bank, on the fundamentals, Sujan wants to know whether he should buy Mr. Prabhakar.
Yeah, we like IndusInd Bank. No, it is a buy from our side.
Okay, and with that, let's just start our rapid fire round very quickly. And Kunal, I'm going to start with you. KVP is asking about latent view. He's holding 100 shares at 505. Can they continue to hold those shares or average at these current levels?
I would suggest to hold as well as average at current levels of 435.
Okay, Kunal Crisil is the name of the counter. We've got a question coming in from Neha, and she's asking for a medium-term perspective. Would you suggest buying at the current level?
I would not say buy at current levels, but yeah, wait for a correction. 3200 could be a good point where you can look to enter Crisil.
Mr. Prabhakar, we have a query coming in from Rajesh, who's bought Indiabulls Real Estate at 155 rupees per share. They're holding 700 shares. Long-term view, continue to hold it, or what should they be doing?
I think it is a hold. If the merger goes on with Embassy, it is a very good buy also at current level.
Okay, I do want to point out that I was talking about Crisil, and I'm sure Kunal was also talking about Crisil. The ticker was wrong. Angel 1 is the name of the next counter, and we've got a question for you, Mr. Prabhakar. Would you hold? The acquisition was made at 1966. Puneet is asking if we should hold.
Yeah, no, broking as a business is doing very good. If there is a correction in market, valuation also will adjust. But I think the broking business will continue to do very good.
Okay, Kunal, we have the next one coming in for you. Lakshmi Organics, hold or sell? This query is coming in from Raghu.
I would suggest to hold on to the stock. It's a recently listed name that I believe looks attractive in the charts.
Okay, we've got a question on Ultratech from the cement industry. Tara is asking, is it time to exit the sector is the question, Mr. Prabhakar. Would you hold on to this or would you exit?
It is a very tricky question. There are few things which are going on in the minds of a lot of analysts. If this ACC Ambuja is taken over by Adani Group, then they are a bit aggressive. So in that case, yes, I would not. No, I would wait and watch. Otherwise, Ultratech at current level is very attractive buy if there is no disruption in this segment.
Kunal, we have a query coming in on Birlasoft from Anup. He's bought it at 475 rupees per share. What is the short-term view on this? Hold, sell?
See, I would suggest that I would expect the stock to correct a bit more from current levels. 375 could be a better level where you can look to average further.
Okay. All right, we're completely out of time, unfortunately. But I'd like to thank both our experts, Kunal as well as Mr. Prabhakar, for joining in and for answering all the questions that you did answer today. Appreciate it. We have a lot of viewers who've sent in their queries. Unfortunately, we've not been able to take all of them, but we promise that we will try and take as many as possible in tomorrow's session. Do stay tuned, though. Lots more coming up on this program itself. We'll be back after this short break.